Shalom, shalom. I'm gonna start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, whose true name is Yahweh, and in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ. His true name is Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay, what I'll be going into is, did Christ break the law? The woman caught in adultery. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with Matthew 5 and verse 17. Okay. So Christ said, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill." So we see here that Christ is here saying he come to not do away with the law at all. He come to fulfill it. Okay. So Christ saying that out of his own mouth. So he didn't come to destroy the law. All right. Watch here in First Peter. Watch what Peter said. First Peter 2, and I'm gonna start at 21. Okay? And it said, "For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye shall follow his steps." Okay, so Peter is telling us that we should be mimicking ourselves after Christ. We should be following after him. Okay? He gonna tell you why in the next verse. Verse 22. Who did no sin? So Christ did not sin. He did not commit sin. And neither was guile found in his mouth. So Christ did not trick you up to try to get you to follow him. There was no trickery in him. He didn't move like that. Okay? He moved in righteousness. Okay? So, what I'll be going to is John 8, the 8th chapter. Okay? Christians like to go here to this passage to show that Christ destroyed the law and that you don't have to worry about the law of Moses. And he showed mercy and things like that. We're going to read it on through and then come back and break it down. Okay? Because Christ said he did not come to destroy the law. Okay? So, I'm going to start off at John 8 and verse 1. Jesus went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple. And all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. Okay? And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery, in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou? Is this they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. And Jesus had lifted up himself, and saw none but the woman. He said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Have no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. Then Jesus again Salakia. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Okay. Now we're gonna break it down. Okay. Verse 1. Jesus went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple. So we see here Christ came into the temple. And all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. So Christ is teaching the people in the temple. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him the woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, okay? So now something is going on. So the scribes and Pharisees brought a lady caught in adultery in the midst. Okay, caught a woman taken in adultery. So she had committed adultery. But the Pharisees had did something wrong, okay? They caught the woman, yes, she was caught in adultery, yes. But the Pharisees know the law, okay? The scribes and Pharisees are doctors at the law. They know the law. They know what the law says about one that is caught in adultery. Let's read it. We're going to go to Leviticus 20. Okay, we're going to see what the law say. Let's get our eyes on that. Leviticus 20 and verse 10. Okay? Leviticus 20 and verse 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Okay? So we see the Pharisees wasn't moving in the spirit. Okay? They wasn't moving in the spirit. So he's saying here that both should be put to death. Okay? Let's read let's get Deuteronomy 22 and verse 22. Okay? Because Christ is actually following the law to the T. And we have to understand that. Okay? He say, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they both shall of them, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. So let's go back to John 8. So we got that verse. He said both of them shall die. Okay? So let's go back to John chapter 8 and verse, I think it was at 3. Let's go there. Okay? It say, verse 3, John 8 and verse 3. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. So that was the first mistake. Okay? They was doing it partially. They only brought the woman. The law said you bring them both. Okay? And look what they did. And when they had set her in the midst, they said unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Okay? She ain't committing adultery by her damn self. Oh, Salakia. She ain't committing adultery by herself. So where is the man? The law said you supposed to bring the man and the woman. Okay? That's Leviticus 20 and 10 and Deuteronomy 22 and 22. You bring both of them so they can be judged. So the scribes and Pharisees, knowing the law, was testing Christ. Watch here in verse 4. They say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou? Now they questioning Christ like he don't know. Christ know the law. That's why he flipped it back on him. Watch here, verse 6. This they said, tempting him. See, they tempting him. Okay? That they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not. So Christ flat out ignored them. Okay? Verse 7. So when they continue asking, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. Okay? So we see here that uh the woman, the Pharisees was trying to get Christ to falsely kill, to put this lady to death, and they have doing the law. Okay? So watch this here. This is Deuteronomy 17 and verse 7. So they have doing the law. So Christ just he killing them because he actually showing them how the law is supposed to be done. Okay? That's why he questioned them. 17 and verse 7. Watch this here. He say, the hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people, so that thou shalt put evil away among you. Okay? First of all, that's another mistake. Christ wasn't a witness. So Christ couldn't put the lady to death anyway. And by the Pharisees being witnesses, they didn't bring the man. They just brought the lady. Okay? So they was being wicked. I was at verse 8. Yeah, so they was moving wickedly. Okay? So Christ had to be a witness, and by them being witnesses, they had supposed to bring the man too, because that's how you perform the law properly. And that's according to Leviticus 20 in verse 10 and Deuteronomy 22 and 22. Okay? I'm going to read 8 again. It said, again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. Okay? And when Jesus had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Have no man condemned thee? So Christ here is showing basically these accusations that were upon her. It wasn't that they were true or not. It's just that they were wrongfully trying to put this lady to death for adultery. Okay? So these are accusations the Pharisees and the scribes had brought up. Okay? It said, Have no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. So Christ told the lady to go sin no more. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Okay? So Christ was doing the law to the T. He showed us how to properly do the law, because he had no authority to put this lady to death. He wasn't a witness. Okay? And with that, I hope it was edifying. And I'm going to end it with Romans 10 and 1. Okay? So I use passages to show that Christ did not sin. Okay? Romans 10 and 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. Okay?
I say shalom.